Hello art friends, today I'm very excited because today I'm making some stickers. So I had an idea to make some handmade stickers, and when I say I had the idea, I actually mean I saw a video from Sketches of Shay, which I will link below, and that inspired me to try this. She takes you through her whole very professional process of how she makes stickers at home, but we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to try to hand draw these stickers. I purchased the vinyl sticker sheets and the holographic film self-adhesive like top coat type of stuff that she recommends. But the thing is, I don't actually have a colored printer. In fact, my printer prints in black, but I don't even know if it's an inkjet or laser, and that might matter. So what we're going to do is see if we can get by just hand drawing some stickers. And I think it's kind of a fun concept, but I'm not sure how well these different inks and materials that I'm going to use will work. So that's what we're going to see. If it doesn't work, I guess I'll just have to buy a printer since I got all this stuff, which is really fine because I would like to have a colored printer. So now I'm going to show you some of the doodles I did with a variety of mediums, just so we can know what works and what doesn't. Then we're going to put the film on top and cut them out and see how these babies do. I'm using water-based markers. I'm using alcohol markers. I have these gel pens, and I'm even trying pencil on here and some stamp ink. I don't know what you call, I guess that's what it is. I actually decided when I started this that I did not want to go in with a plan for the layout. Yes, that was intentional. I wanted to just sort of experiment with the materials I was using and see how things developed. So let's talk about water-based markers, which are what I'm using here. This was probably my favorite type of marker to use, more so than the alcohol marker. Those worked well too, but I found that you have to kind of be careful with the alcohol markers when drawing on this, because there is a sort of coating on this vinyl sticker sheet, which is what holds the ink, but it was a lot easier to scratch off when using the alcohol markers, especially in areas where I had already marked, or when I was using the finer pointed tip opposed to the wider chisel tip. But even that was tricky with the alcohol markers. So I found that with the water-based markers, though, I could color quite a bit and recolor over areas, and it still didn't seem to rub the coating off of the vinyl sheet. As far as color and coverage goes, though, the alcohol markers worked just as well. I did find that you can use pencil to very lightly lay out your design. I did this and then used a good eraser, and there was no problem as far as getting all the marks off and not rubbing off the coating. I didn't try making very dark marks, but maybe I'll try that later and see how that goes. A technique that works well and that I want to explore more of is putting down a background color and then drawing over it with a fine line. I used my Dollar Tree gel pens for this, and it worked really well. Then I wanted to try using a few of my handmade stamps with some Ranger brand archival ink. I suspect any type of stamping ink will work fine though. I also tried some highlighter for a background on this flower sticker, and I think it's essentially water-based marker, so it worked well too. And I used some metallic Uniball Signo gel pens, and those worked great as well. The most surprising thing I found, I think, is that you can use colored pencil on this and it works pretty well. At first I was going really light so as not to scratch the coating, but I realized you can actually press pretty hard and it doesn't seem to affect it at all. And now we're going to apply the holographic film on top of the vinyl sticker sheet. And if you happen to notice that I'm using a totally different set of stickers, that's because I forgot to press record the first time I did this. Something I want to note too is that the sticker sheet itself is 11 inches by 8.5 inches, or a US letter size, and the holographic film is actually A4 size, which is slightly longer and more narrow. It actually says that in the description, but it escaped my notice the first time and I didn't plan for that when drawing my first stickers, so just keep that in mind if you decide to do this. So then I cut these out with the smallest, dullest scissors I could. Actually, they aren't that dull, but they also aren't that sharp. But either way, it was still fairly easy to cut these out and have them look pretty decent. So I'm going to try to find a better pair of scissors, and then I think it'll really be a breeze to do this. When it's all said and done, do I recommend this method? Yes, it's a lot of fun, especially if you don't have a printer. I wanted to try a little bit of watercolor on this too, but I did not, so maybe next time. But pretty much all of the materials I used did work, even if you had to be a bit more careful with, say, the alcohol marker. These are some of my favorite stickers I made. I was surprised that I actually ended up preferring the larger prismatic film over the smaller sparkles. The biggest drawback with this whole method here is, as you might guess, just the time that it takes. It's definitely not efficient, especially if you're doing this as a business, but it is a lot of fun if you just want to make a few stickers and try some different designs out.